prison is a crazy, crazy place, and plenty of moments that I remember that probably will leave an impact on my mind or memory for time and years to come. Nonetheless, when I first went into prison, I was placed on a level 4 yard, Sussex 2 State Prison. And I got to tell you about this because, man, you just never know. That's what this story should probably be called. And my first couple of cellies on Sussex 2 were actually, man, they was official OGs. They were able to tell me, how to do time, school me to some things. Unfortunately, they had already been both incarcerated for 20 plus years, but also they were able to get me into some good jobs, one into the kitchen, one eventually into the inmate advisor position, etc. And I was grateful for those cellies, but man, I was still young. And I'm not going to lie, I was trying to hustle, play BET out my little 5-inch E-Tron TV out the speaker, play cards, all that. And they weren't really on that type time. So when it was lockdown, they was laid back in the bunk, reading their books or whatever. And I was just, man, probably doing the same. But eventually, they ended up moving a young dude in the cell with me. And I was excited because he was a respectful dude. He had good reputation. I knew he wasn't going to cause me no issues. I wasn't going to cause him any issues. And we could make it work. A cell is not a comfortable situation, but with the right person, you can make it work for what it's worth. And dude had a job, he had a hustle, he had all that. And we were able to have conversations that were more familiar because he got locked up around the same time that I did, and we were similar in age. So it was just a better situation as far as morale. Able to play cards in the cell with my celly, talk a little trash, look at the videos on BET, whatever. But most importantly, we would always be talking about the future and what we were going to do when we went home. And bruh had some big plans, man. He would always talk about him being a mechanic or having a mechanical background, opening up a garage, getting out there so he could celebrate his daughter's birthday with her. All these super positive, powerful things that I love to hear about because I hated just talking about prison. I always wanted my mind to be outside of that place. And I would tell him my plans too. And then one day it dawned on me. I never asked him when he was going home, and I didn't know if I'd be out of bounds, but the way he was talking, it must have been in a few months, and I wanted some of his property if he was going to leave. Yo, let me get them sweats or them tennis shoes or something, TV, something, if you gone. So I said, AM, that's what I'm going to call him for this story. I said, yo, when do you go home? And he looked at me with no hesitation, and he said, I don't. And I said, what do you mean you don't? He said, man, I got multiple life sentences. I got caught up in a string of robberies. He said, you're probably confused because we were talking about tomorrow. He said, but man, I got to keep hope alive. I can't allow myself to think that I'm never going to leave this place again. So that means that I'm crazy for talking about a future that may not exist. So be it. It's a powerful moment, man. Moral of the story, stay free. Peace.